morning.
Good morning.
Long time no see, old friend.
Well,
Yeah, there's that.
see what happened was.
Yeah, mornings are pretty busy around here. I typically will go make sure Dad's meds are good, do any injections that need done, check his blood pressure, blood sugar. Yeah, mornings are just...
Yeah, they're busy, but they're slow.
Yeah.
It's when there's a lot that has to be done, but it's I don't know. I guess because we don't have like the garden to take care of and the animals to take care of. So our mornings will be like, hey, cool, we're starting at 7, and then it's boom, 11 o'clock, and we're like, what happened?
And we get to talking with Dad, and
yeah.
So beautiful mornings, beautiful memories, beautiful all of that. But today, well, yesterday, we went down to Aunt Will and Uncle Jerry's and got started working on fixing, well, I didn't, but getting started working on the AC.
Yeah, we've gotten all the parts in. There was one part that didn't show up in the box that was supposed to, so I had to handle that issue, but the local parts store had it, so I got down there, and well,
You'll have to watch the video because they are recording it, but wasn't what we thought.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So didn't get done, so we brought Aunt Willa's car back here to Dad's late last night. Dad had a blast. He did quite a bit of walking, and it showed in his blood sugar this morning. It was, I think, the lowest it's been in months. So really pleased with that. His energy is increasing. We're trying to make baby steps towards movement and all that other good stuff. But we are headed back today to Aunt Willa's for another beautiful day with family. Of course, I took the Oculus yesterday. Got a few more people hooked on it. And yeah, I'm feeling it a little bit this morning for sure. But love that thing. It's a great workout. I just felt real heavy after lunch, and so I'm gonna jump on the Oculus and whack away some lightsaber stuff. And yeah,
you got them all involved in that. That was pretty fun, and we tinkered around. Oh, that reminds me, I gotta get that scanner out of the camper for Caden's truck.
Canaan's? Oh, okay.
Canaan's. Yeah, so got working on our truck, plus the one nephew was there working on his truck, and we were kind of bouncing back and forth because we drove our truck down there, obviously, and it's an hour ride, so there was some things that were a little hot and warm, and we're like, okay, we're gonna figure this out. And then yeah, we ended up having a part that was bad that I didn't plan for, and well, they're supposed to have the part in today, so we'll get everything back together. Hopefully that part comes in and we can have that all buttoned up today.
But just in case, we are gonna pack a bag and take our necessities with us. Dad is gonna stay here today rather than, because he was late getting his meds last evening, and stuff like that, because we were, having to drive back.
Yeah.
But just in case they don't get it all back together, I guess that's the beauty of not kind of being on a time frame, is we can just kind of to do that. So
yeah, because does he have appointments Monday?
He does. So
we'll have to figure that out. I mean, that's the nice thing is,
well, it's not until his morning. So cardiac rehab determined that they want to wait till the second opinion before they start Dad on cardiac rehab, because that's a low lying plane, isn't it? They want to make sure his heart is okay to participate in cardiac rehab.
Well, yeah, because of the severity of the blockages, and until the second opinion to see, because we keep saying it, guys. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason other than God that he's even alive right now, according to all the medical stuff.
Yeah.
And so it makes it a challenge because he's...
Oh, it's a helicopter. Yeah.
he's doing, better than what we had expected, which doesn't really change our plans. Like, we know, looking at the charts, looking at all the medical stuff, that what he has is...
Until something significant changes.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, the appointment for tomorrow morning was canceled for cardiac rehab.
Oh, gotcha.
So we don't have an appointment till like 2 p.m. So if we ended up having to stay at Aunt Willa's, it would be fine. We would just come back tomorrow and then take Dad to his appointment.
But I think we can get the truck back together. That as long as that piece comes in today, we've got everything else to be able to get it in. And yeah, it typical of working on something. I mean, that was the nice part about being able to go there. Was one, I knew that, okay, they're gonna have all the tools. I mean, I brought some with me. Dad's got some here, but trying to fish them out and figure out where they're at as to where, Chad uses them almost pretty much daily, so they know where everything is. And plus, getting us to go down there, like we've talked about, kind of part of our plan is to be able to take the Nugget down there and stay there for a little while, but
Dad's just not ready.
Yeah, there's so much day to day with Pops right now that to go down for a day, maybe even an overnighter would be fine, but that's a lot of work to tear the Nugget down to do that. So it's like,
I was down this morning because on Sundays I sort his meds, I do all 4 checks, I count them, I get them all set up for this next coming up week because there's a lot of meds. It is just a busy sky day today.
They said Sunday fun day. They just want to. That's an airplane.
Yeah, that's an airplane. But Jason's been on the Bobcat. He's been working the land, and there's a section of about 5 acres over this side that Jason's just working the crap out of it. It looks amazing and beautiful, and we're like, oh, that could be a cabin site. And even this morning, because Dad was like, "Oh, this is your home now." Like he's trying to like uber convince us that this is where And I'm like, man, even do we clear that site a little bit more, put in a few things, and move the Nugget there? But then I'm thinking, what if we go into winter? I mean, the Nugget is tolerable for most temperatures, but I don't know.
It's not going to be something suitable for dead of winter, I don't think.
No, and trust me, we would absolutely love to be able to build a cabin over there. We're not ruling it out. Things could align, and we could put something a little bit more up.
Yeah, we've got to do a little bit of research, though, because the other thing is, unlike home in Arkansas, this is an area that has code enforcement and regulations and needs permits and needs all this stuff. And, and we even think about future, with that, like putting something up is like, even, when Dad passes and is gone, and if Cindy has to sell this place, it would give us something that we could come back to, vacation. I mean, we've still got
but realistically,
friends and family.
Probably 10-year max.
15.
Because we certainly, as much as we love Dad's place, when we were looking in Tennessee for land before we bought in Arkansas, this was not the place. It just wasn't.
Right.
We knew that. So for us to invest in that, I mean, if anything, it's probably just going to be more like move the Nugget over so that we're not kind of like.
And I mean, we talked a little bit about it, but the other thing is, and I guess what we haven't put a lot of thought into for longevity of wintertime is there is a 34-foot fifth wheel that would handle the winter better. And does that mean, hey, we put a slab in and try to get water and sewer and, I don't know. We've definitely got some things to look into.
Yeah.
I mean, because the house is an option too, but it's...
I like my privacy.
Well, right, and that's where, the house has the room, but it doesn't... it's just different when you're inside the house. At least for us. I mean, that was the whole point of the Nugget, was when you stay with somebody, like, hey, we have our own space, we can do our own thing.
I'm weird like that.
Yeah.
I am. I mean, I'll stay in another person's home if I have to, if there's no other options. But I'm a very much a regimented, my things, like, I just feel wonky when I'm not around my things, and I never feel comfortable.
Well, and you're always living out of a bag in that situation because, like, it's a room and it's got, but the people that own the house, it's their stuff in there. So you're like living out of your suitcase on the floor. And
yeah, and I'm always worried that, I'm going to smear something, I'm going to scratch something, or, So we don't know. Welcome to our mornings where we just sit and talk about possible things and don't even think them through.
Well, and it's part of the one that we knew, not that it was necessarily a full knee-jerk reaction to come here, because that was going to happen irregardless, and we knew there were going to be some things that
we would just have to iron out later.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure it out as it comes, because there wasn't time to properly plan. And we
certainly weren't looking 6 months down the road or 5 months down. I mean, we don't know what it all looks like.
I mean, the brain, like, process through it was, hey, let's prep for 6 months, and honestly 6 months would be good, in the fact that we got 6 more months with Dad, but the reality is, do we really have a full 6 months, or is there longer? Like, who knows? Like, there's so many questions and options right now. And
but Dad, this morning Dad's like, but you're going back to Arkansas next month, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, but it's only for 3 weeks, right? You're coming back? I'm like, yes, Daddy, we're coming back.
Yeah. And so there's things like that still, need to be arranged, because we've talked about whether we take the Nugget back, or it's probably going to be one of those, we leave the Nugget here, load our have-tos into the truck, and drive the truck back, because we may have a trailer full of stuff that needs to go back to the ridge.
Yeah, because Dad just keeps thinking about, he'll remember, I've got this and that, this and the other, and I want Jacob and Jenna to have it, for their home builds. And so every day he'll, like, remember something else he's got. Hey, upstairs I got da-da-da-da-da, Jenna could use that, or Jake could use that, or so chances are we're going to be having a trailer load to take back to Arkansas in October instead of the Nugget of just random building supplies. Y'all know how we are with building supplies. We may or may not have to have Jake and Jenna add another Harbor Freight shed to the land to put it all in, because we're not there to build the garage, or,
Yeah.
We don't know. We really, really don't. And you're getting a glimpse into our morning conversations that we do. We talk to each other just like this, like, could we do this?
And it's that kind of blessing, as odd as it sounds, right, to call it a blessing, right, to have but honestly, I think we both look and feel that this is a blessing, that we're able to come here and do this, that our life, we're able to put our main life on hold, because we don't have 9 to 5s to go clock into. We don't have that, so we've been able to set ourselves up, and we're, I mean, other than having to buy parts for the truck, like, financially, things are,
I always
I think they're a little more manageable.
Yeah, I try to challenge myself, and I've challenged myself on this while we're here. For one, we pay our own way. I don't depend on my daddy for anything. But to save money, because I have to have something else to occupy my brain. So if I can find something else to focus on, like saving money. Like, I was upset yesterday because I had spent like an hour stacking coupons in the Dollar General app, watching TikToks and figuring out, like, okay, I can go in and get $27 worth of products for $4 and whatever it is. And needed to do it yesterday because Saturday's the 5 off. We didn't get there because, well, they were working on the truck and I was dancing on the Oculus with the family. But just finding those ways to save money and not buying things that we don't need or we don't have space. Even when we went on our date day the other day, oh y'all, there was this beautiful picture. Gorgeous. And I love my art, you know, as I was an art student, I love good quality art. And there was this picture. It was probably all of 5 foot wide by,
oh gosh,
I mean,
yeah, the thing was huge.
And it would look perfect, absolutely amazing in the log cabin. The use of light, the glow of the mountains. It was just this beautiful print. Oh, it was only what, $76?
I don't even think it was that much. It was, yeah, for what it was super
I don't
cheap.
know. And actually, I thought he was going to go ahead and buy it, but we were both like, we can't. Like, one, we have nowhere to put it. Two, I don't want to spend the money. And three, the log cabin was already in a 3 to 5 year plan, and right now, even everything back on the ridge is still kind of up in the air.
And to double it up, so number 4 is we don't have anywhere to put it.
I said we don't have anywhere
I know,
to put it.
but I had to repeat it again
because
it's one of those that gets on the list twice.
Yeah. Because that is, I mean...
Because we actually do have some really good artwork that's in storage right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, not even settling yet as to what our final dimensions of the log cabin are going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, still going to be on the smaller side, but obviously we've discovered with a tiny house that it'll probably need to be more of the 800 to 1,000 foot square foot range.
Probably, and the majority of that's probably going to be kitchen.
Yeah.
Kitchen and pantry.
Well, and I think
and master bedroom. I think as we get older, and this just kind of proves our point with growing older, you know, is that whole age and place thing. And right now, the ridge is nowhere close. Like, if something were to happen to me or Jason right now, it would almost seem insurmountable to finish or complete the ridge the way that we want it. And so it's catch-22. Like, you realize these things, but you know, we're
well,
not
it definitely
in a
wakes the brain up too.
Yeah.
Like she was saying, is being here and, you know, yeah, great. I can come in as it is right now, right? And run the Bobcat and a weed whipper for hours and the mower and do all just yard maintenance, y'all. Just yard maintenance. You're looking at a full, I would say, with what I brush hogged, if we were able to get that cleaned up enough to where the mower could run off it, you're looking at 2 full days of sun up to sundown. You know, between
weed whipping and
right, and you know, because it would be almost a solid day of mowing.
There's like something over here that's biting me.
And you know, that doesn't count the little weed whipping, and then of course your normal household chores and you know, depending on the weather, you know, driveway maintenance, so stuff like that I guess it's really brought to the forefront, which we've kept in mind and we've known as we're building things like, hey, this area needs this. You know, we've talked about, you know, the garden area, putting down the fabric, you know, clearing that completely out, leveling it as best as we can, and then put in, you know, some rock or stone or something down to make it where you don't have to fight with a weed whipper to get in between, you know, buckets or
watching my feet, there's like little ants.
Not having big ruts places and stuff like that. So definitely kind of clarifying and reiterating that we need to make sure we're building our place so that when we are in our 70s or 80s.
Sorry guys, I'm getting bit.
Things happening. That there's a few more things that we thought we were paying attention to for the whole age in place concept that we might not have put enough emphasis on. You know, because in nothing against them, like, this is a beautiful home and it's a beautiful property.
And they built it up from a very tiny house. Like, it was a pretty small house. You know,
but the land is a lot like ours, where the only reason there's flat area is because they carved it out of the hillside and made it flat.
Yeah.
Like, so, you know, and that's a lot like what we have at the ridge. And so looking at it for maneuverability mowable. You know what I mean? Like, it's at a point now where I don't have a problem being able to run up a steep embankment on the mower and mow, but you know, I've got quicker reactions. At 70, where I'm going to be a lot slower and maybe a little less stable, am I going to be able to, you know, which we're not even at a point of worrying about mowing it, you know, like we're still at brush hog days on our property.
It definitely makes you, you know, rethink things and
where things are going to be placed.
Yeah.
I mean, we like the spread out concept, and I think the layout design that we're going for right now works, as long as like we still maintain a side-by-side or something, like mobility for distance, you know, like we look at Dad and it's like in his condition right now to go from the house to the shop, well, that one,
and there's so many obstacles too, just from ruts and stuff, and I already
and you have a
trouble
30-minute
with
break
ruts.
once he gets there to let him catch his breath, and you know, stuff like that.
I know now I want all of our paths, and I've always wanted it, but I've dealt with them not being flat. Like, that's a priority, is to have our pathways flat.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing more scary than feeling like you're gonna fall. And I've almost fell over, because when we had all those rains here in Tennessee, it washed out a good majority of the driveway and the gravel and stuff. And so he still needs to get on the Bobcat and, you know, smooth all that stuff out. But, you know, it's like a landmine. Like, I don't know, you think about these things, I guess.
It is. And I mean, the thing is, you know, you want to jump on, like, say the driveway, especially the bottom driveway, you want to jump on it right away. Well, the reality is you're going to tear up more if you don't wait a week of dry time,
because it's been so saturated.
Yeah, to work it, because if not, you're going to make a bigger mess, and you're going to be right back out there doing it the next day when it rains again. So but in the meantime, you're driving through it, and you might as well be going through mountain craters.
4-wheel drive.
Yeah, like to come up the driveway. And the funny part is, I think both of our trucks, Dad and I's both, which I did get up the driveway in his truck the other day without 4-wheel drive. You got to be okay with spinning the tires a little bit to get on the loose gravel, and then it comes right up. But we're both hurting for tires right now, and his are worse than mine. I mean, I thought mine were getting pretty bad, and I'm like, hey, I'll buy my time till winter. And then I looked at his, and I'm like, I've seen bologna skins have more traction than these tires got. Like, holy gamoly. But it's those little things, you know, and then looking at equipment and what's going to be easy to get on and off for equipment wise, and, you know, what makes life manageable. You know, because right now it's the Bobcat, right? Well, if you're not in the stability or have the ability to run the Bobcat, what's the alternate
solution?
solution?
Up into it is a hazard.
Yeah, and so then I look at the little tractor that he's got here, and an awesome little Ford tractor, little Jubilee. That with a back blade would be a lot more stable and easy to drag the driveway and stuff, but that needs a head gasket. So, you know, I don't know. I think, to sum it up, really, a lot of this has been, as much as fun as we're having with visiting with the family, it's been an awakening for prepping for our future.
Yeah.
To know that, you know, we might not, you know, be able to manage the things. And if the kids decide that, hey, they've had enough and want to move out to do their own thing, and it's just the two of us there to manage the property, like, is that going to be possible? And I think it is. And I think that the nice part is we're early enough in the stage of building and developing our property that
we can future-proof it.
Right. And so, like I said, I think awakening is the most summarized word to explain kind of what's been happening within our minds and thoughts and stuff like that while we've been here. You know, in all aspects of it. What our life looks like, our health, you know, like we've definitely reiterated that what we're doing with growing our own food is 100% the way that we need to go.
Oh, for sure. But also not just, and I know Jason's been doing a lot of the outside stuff, but there's only one Bobcat. So like we both can't be on a Bobcat. And without having the garden, without having our projects, you know, I'm staying busy, spending time with Dad and doing this, that, and the other, and editing or whatnot. But I miss the physical part of the ridge. I miss feeling like, that's why I literally am taking the Oculus with me everywhere we go, because I need and I feel better when I'm moving. That's huge, because I don't feel like I'm getting the workout that I do at home.
Yeah. And what we have set up at home, like, it forces you to be physically active.
It's an interactive,
you know, even
life.
just walking down to do chores, like, you're and for the most part, I mean, compared to, like, for us to leave the tiny house and walk up to do chores is much flatter than walking from the house to the Nugget here, you know. So I mean, we've kind of got that advantage going, because it's also a bear witness, and you see and hear about it all the time, and then you get that reminder, you know, like, hey, you don't use it, you lose it. And you know, a lot of that is kind of where Dad's at right now, is, you know, he wants to get back, and he's got the ambition to keep moving and doing the things, but now with the health issues, the energy level's not there to do it.
Right.
And you know, and sometimes you see them where they kind of, I don't even really want to say give up, but give in to the easier life. And
Path of least resistance.
yeah, and
it's not always easy, and there's days when I don't want to, you know, get out and do stuff on the ridge.
I'm sure there's a point we'll get there.
Yeah.
But we're hoping to extend to that point, you know, a little bit longer in our lives, you know, and not be codependent on, you know, is somebody living on the ridge that can help us out, or, you know, like, how can we, so it's, I mean, you know, and you look at,
we don't know.
Yeah.
This is our brain, guys. We could sit here and talk for hours, literally, about the what ifs, the what coulds, what should we's, and.
But we got a truck to fix.
We do. And I need to go shower.
Yep.
All that working out, I was rolling in sweat on the Oculus. In the AC, I was working hard.
Yeah.
Hard, I tell ya.
So, yeah, I think that'll be it for this morning, guys. We'll get this out to you, and we appreciate.
Sorry it was so random. We don't never know what we're going to talk about, and sometimes it just, doing this allows us to kind of like talk about the things that are on our minds, that we're so brain numb sometimes because we're so overwhelmed with things. We just sit there kind of zombie-ish.
Analysis paralysis.
And this allows us to like actually get those thoughts out, and those things that are on our minds that we're not even thinking about. It's almost like it's so much that you can't dial in on talking about just one thing. So you don't even bother with the one thing. But yeah, see, peace out.
See you guys.